1893, Edward Durrell Stone, the architect. This building was made of very expensive Italian Carrara marble, but it didn't like Chicago winters, and it started to crumble. So $800 million later, with granite from North Carolina, we have a new building. Now I'm going to stay to my right, and as we get under the bridge, look to your right between two buildings. One of them is the Swiss Hotel, which looks like the bow of a ship carrying peace, and the other is this dark brown James Hart building. And you will be able to see a building with wavy balconies. This is the Aqua Tower. In 2009, Jeannie Gang, the architect, there's a Radisson Blu in the bottom. It's 82 stories. Jeannie Gang was inspired with this building by the limestone outcroppings that she saw in Lake Michigan, and also by the waves that you get in the winter, and they can be quite strong. So this is an idea of contextualism, looking at what's around you and incorporating it in your design. And for a long time, that was the tallest building in the world by a female architect. Again, Jeannie Gang, and she was from Illinois until, on your right, this is the St. Regis on your right at 1 o'clock. This is now the tallest building in the world by a female architect, and it's still Jeannie Gang. This is the St. Regis that was opened in 2021, and the hotel and the restaurant just last year. It's our third tallest building. You'll see our tallest Sears Tower. Trump Tower, which you'll see from a better angle in a minute, is the second tallest, and then the St. Regis, and then the building you just saw, the AL Center. If you look at this building, you can see that it has different shades of glass. That's to represent the color of our river. Our river is naturally green because we have a lock to prevent how much water we get from the rock, and from what we carry to the lake, it brings with it new water and algae that reflects the bottom of our clay-based river to give us the shade that we have. And our river is 22 feet deep. Now I'm going to talk a bit more about the St. Regis as we turn the boat around, because your views are better. But you know, for a long time to the right, this was a golf course. It's only about 20 years ago that many people wanted to be down by the river again once it cleaned up, and we started to build a new neighborhood. This one is called the New East Side. And to your left, this neighborhood, which is very popular as well, is called Streeterville. But in the 60s, there wasn't much there, because this was all still warehouses and ports with a busy river. Then it started to be developed, and it's still growing, and now it's quite an expensive street to live, but it's a very popular area to live, and it has our largest hospital, Northwestern. Some people joke it should be called Northwestern Bay, but it's still street. Now we have just gone under a bridge that was opened in 1937 by Franklin Delano Roosevelt. This is DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Every time you hear DuSable, you know it's named after Jean-Baptiste Point DuSable. I mentioned briefly when we set off that we had 26 miles of free and open access. That's all here. We have parks everywhere, but that 26 miles goes from North Woodwood Beach to your left, south to your right, or vice versa. Beaches, parks, running paths, biking paths, whatever. From our plan of Chicago, which in 1909, a gentleman called Daniel Burnham, we had a World's Fair here in 1893. It was so popular, and Mr. Burnham and Edward Bennett, who was a landscaper by the way developed Central Park in New York, was so successful with their World's Fair that they were asked to develop the plan of Chicago, and we still refer to it to this day. So that's the 1909 plan of Chicago. Okay, ahead of you, and you know we've got helicopters and police and everybody everywhere all the time this week. I even got stuck out here on the lake on Sunday night because we couldn't go back down the river. I wished I'd brought my backpack or something, but I mean eventually we did. But this is our lock and you can see boats going into it that are going out onto the lake. This river I mentioned is 22 feet. The lake is almost 5 feet higher. So when we go in, we have to wait. It takes about 15 minutes, rise up to the level of the lake, then we can go. On the way back is the opposite, and all the water that is in the dock gushes out into the river. That is because we reversed our river in 1900, and all our water now comes from the lake. So our river goes backwards. It goes the way we're going to be going in a minute. And if I have time, I will tell you the story. All you need to know is it saved people from dying from cholera and typhoid and everything else. Because in the mid-1900s and to this day, we get our drinking water from the lake. Now it goes into massive treatment plants and then out to 12 smaller ones in different parts of the city. So it's safe to drink, I promise you. Okay, so this building on the right from 1968 shouldn't really have been there. You won't see another building this side of the bridge like this. I mentioned that there was walking paths, and that this actually was all warehouses and wharves, schoonerships, different types of ships. But come the, let's say, mid-60s, there wasn't as much traffic on the river. And so the people that owned this land, which was for warehouses, wanted to make some money. So they did brought in developers and decided to build a rental building, which this is from 1968. This is Lake Point Tower. Now I'm telling you the story very briefly, but all you need to know is it's not Ries van der Rohe. You're going to see a couple of these buildings. You know, he was the one that said less is more. I wanted very simple, dark office buildings. But he was a teacher here in Illinois, at what is now Illinois Institute of Technology. And many of his students just went around the city. Two of them, Shipwright and Heinrich, actually designed this building. But you know, Ries came from Germany during just before World War II from the Bauhaus School. And so Chicago has more of his buildings than any other city in America because he lived here and he taught here. And that Illinois Center I pointed out to you was designed by him too. We are getting another park though, just to your right. This will be finished in 3 years, 3.3 acres, and it's going to be called DuSable Park. The person that's designing it, Carol Ross Barney, is the same person that designed all the riverwalk to the left. The developers for this, Skidmore, Owens and Merrill, with Related Midwest. It's going to have 635 apartments, 20% affordable, which means 127 for this building. Many people looking forward to it because this land sat empty for 15 years when a developer couldn't get the money to develop the building they wanted to. And it's only within the last few months that this one has really started to grow. So that's a good thing, the last thing on the river. And good because it's going to be apartments, and many of them affordable too. Now, you know, when our river was really disgusting because of our stockyards, which had gone, they left in 1971, and because for a long time all our sewage in the mid-19th century went into the river, nobody wanted to be anywhere near this place. except the boats and the warehouses. But slowly but surely,